Wait, before you toss that Indian headset back in the jar, read the date. 1860 and 1861 are the kind of years collectors stop for, because one clear digit and the Liberty Band can flip a cool old penny into a serious find. Subscribe now, and I'll show you the exact spots to zoom in on, the real error signs, and how to check it without ruining the value. Let's get started. An 1860 Indian head cent is the kind of coin that can stop a collector mid-sentence, because it doesn't feel like pocket change, it feels like a relic. 1 cent. United States of America. Liberty. A small copper coin from a nation on the edge of the Civil War era, carrying a design so iconic it still triggers instant recognition today. This is exactly why Indian head cent videos explode. They combine real American history with the modern treasure hunt fantasy that maybe, just maybe, an old jar or inherited box is hiding something life-changing. But the most engaging way to tell this story is to start with a powerful truth that protects your credibility. Most coins that go viral for $1 million are not worth that, yet some Indian head cents absolutely can be worth serious collector money when the right factors line up. The date alone is not the jackpot. The jackpot is date plus rarity plus condition plus originality plus verified variety. When you frame it like that, viewers still feel the thrill, but now they feel guided instead of fooled, and that's what keeps them watching all the way to the end. To understand why 1860 matters, you have to step into its time. America in the 1860s was in a period of rising tension and transformation, and coins from that era weren't minted as collectibles. They were minted for survival-level daily commerce. That means every surviving example has had a long, rough life unless it was saved early. So when you hold an 1860 cent today, you're not just holding old copper. You're holding a piece of day-to-day life from a world of gaslight streets, handwritten ledgers, and a country about to be tested in ways modern people can barely imagine. The design itself is part of the magic, and it's why audiences instantly connect. The obverse shows Liberty wearing a Native American-style headdress, a design that has sparked discussion for generations and became a visual symbol of the era. The reverse carries the 1 cent and United States of America wording inside a wreath, and those bold inscriptions make the coin feel official and timeless. On camera, this design reads beautifully even when worn, which is important because most real finds will not be pristine, and you need a script that makes worn coins feel exciting instead of disappointing. Now get serious in a way that feels like a secret. 1860 is in the early Indian head cent era, and early dates are where collectors pay attention because survival rates are lower and high-grade examples can be truly scarce. Many people assume older automatically means rarer, but collectors look at how many were minted, how many survive, and how many survive in high grade. That's why the same date can exist in the thousands in worn condition, yet be genuinely hard to find in sharp, problem-free condition. You're not just hunting the coin, you're hunting the coin in a state collectors fight over. Condition is where the story turns from history into money, and it's the part viewers can learn to see. Look at Liberty's headdress feathers and the hair detail around the ribbon. Check the word Liberty on the headband, because it's a famous grading marker. When those letters are strong and readable, the coin is in a more desirable condition range than one where the band is smooth. On the reverse, inspect the wreath leaves and the bow. Sharp leaf veins and clean edges usually mean less wear. This kind of detailed talk makes your audience feel like they're gaining X-ray vision. Then comes the most important collector warning, and it's the one line that saves people from ruining value. Never clean an Indian head cent. Cleaning can turn an otherwise collectible coin into a damaged coin overnight, because old copper shows cleaning hairlines and unnatural color immediately. Many 1860 cents naturally tone to deep brown, and that is normal and often preferred when it's original. A cleaned coin can look too bright, too pink, or strangely shiny, and that wrong look can scare off serious buyers. The best move is edge handling only, safe storage, and careful photography. Authentication is a big part of this coin's story, because the older the coin, the more the market cares about trust. That doesn't mean every Indian head scent is fake, but it does mean the higher the value potential, the more likely people will want professional verification. On video, you can explain that authenticity is supported by correct weight, correct diameter, correct edge, correct design details, and natural wear patterns. A genuine coin wears in a way that looks smooth and honest, while a cast counterfeit can show grainy surfaces, mushy detail, or odd texture in the fields. Now let's talk about what actually makes an 1860 Indian head scent jump in value without promising fantasy. The biggest drivers are strong detail, lack of damage, and original surfaces. Problems that drop value include heavy corrosion, deep scratches, rim dings, holes, bends, or aggressive cleaning. Collectors will often pay more for a smoother, original, evenly worn coin than for a harshly cleaned coin with more detail. That's a key point most casual viewers don't know, and it makes your script feel expert. Varieties and errors add another layer of excitement, and this is where you can add mystery without lying. Indian head scents have known dye varieties across many dates, and specialists look for small differences in lettering, date shape, and other diagnostics. Even if you don't name a specific variety in your script, you can tell viewers the correct mindset. If something looks unusual and consistent, it might be a variety, but it needs comparison to verified references. True mint errors from that era can exist, but they're not common in the way viral posts suggest. So the professional approach is to treat weird as a clue, not a guarantee. The emotional core that gets shares is the idea that one coin can connect generations. People don't usually find 1860 cents in their day-to-day change. They find them in inherited tins, old albums, estate boxes, antique shop lots, or the forgotten bottom layer of a family coin jar that hasn't been touched in decades. That's the moment you narrate. Someone opens a dusty container, sees a dark brown scent with an unfamiliar face, and suddenly the room gets quiet. That feeling is what makes viewers tag family members and start checking their own collections. Now bring in the "don't spend your coins" message, but make it smarter and more believable. Instead of saying every old coin is worth a fortune, you say this: if you see an old date like 1860, treat it like a document, not like money. Separate it, protect it, and identify it before you do anything else. Viewers respond well to that because it sounds like real advice, and it triggers action without sounding like a scam. You can also mention bicentennial coins as a parallel hook, because it widens the treasure hunt for modern audiences. Bicentennial pieces are easy for people to find, while Indian head scents are the deep-level find that feels legendary. That contrast makes the video more engaging. One category is accessible, the other is epic. It encourages viewers to keep searching because even if they don't find an 1860 today, they can still participate by checking their other coins. If you want this to feel like a collector's investigation, describe a simple verification routine in story form. You set the coin on a soft surface, you use a single bright light, you tilt it slowly, and you watch how the fields reflect. You zoom in on the headband to check liberty. You look at the rim for damage. You examine the reverse wreath for sharpness. You take clear photos straight on, not angled, because angles can hide cleaning lines and can distort the date. The audience loves routines because routines make them feel capable. The value conversation should land like a truth bomb, not a letdown. Many 1860 Indian head scents in heavily worn condition are valuable mainly as historic collectibles, not as life-changing money. But nicer, problem-free examples can command strong premiums, and high-grade, original surface coins can climb dramatically because they're genuinely scarce in that state. The dream isn't every coin is a million. The dream is one coin in exceptional condition, verified, can be a serious collector piece, and that dream is real. Another high-retention angle is the idea of original color versus messed with color. Old copper should look natural, with even brown toning or stable color changes. If it looks unnaturally bright, oddly orange, or mirror shiny without being a proof, that's a red flag for cleaning or alteration. Viewers love this because it's a visual tell they can learn quickly, and it makes them feel like they're learning a secret language. For sellers and buyers, the responsible move is always documentation. Photograph both sides in natural light, capture the date clearly, and show close-ups of the headband and the wreath. If the coin looks promising, compare it to reputable references and consider professional grading, because the difference between collectible and serious money is often a thin line drawn by condition and authenticity. In a good script, you stress patience. Rushing is how people get underpaid or scammed. And here's the closing that keeps the tone deep and cinematic. An 1860 Indian head cent is not just a coin, it's a survivor. It lived through a century and a half of hands, pockets, drawers, and forgotten boxes, and it still carries its message in metal. If you find one, don't clean it, don't guess, and don't treat it like spare change. Protect it, identify it, and let the details tell you what it's worth. Because in coin collecting, the smallest details are where the biggest stories live. Keep a close eye on your change because that hidden treasure might be sitting right in your pocket. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a big find. Stay tuned, because in the next video, we're diving into another legendary coin that could be worth a small fortune. Next up. The 1861 Indian head cent holds a special place in American coin history because it was minted during one of the most dramatic turning points in the nation's past. As the United States entered the Civil War in 1861, everyday life was filled with uncertainty, and even small coins like the Indian head cent became part of the country's economic survival. The coin features the familiar portrait of Liberty wearing a Native American headdress along with the inscription United States of America, a design that symbolized both national identity and resilience during a time of division. Unlike many later coins that were produced in stable times, the 1861 Indian head cent circulated during a period when Americans were worried about the future of the nation. Banks were struggling, people began hoarding precious metals, and coins became an important part of daily commerce. Because of this environment, many coins were used heavily, passed quickly from hand to hand in markets, general stores, and military camps across the country. Each surviving piece today carries a silent story of that turbulent period. The design itself is one of the most recognizable in American numismatics. The obverse shows Liberty with a feathered headdress, a symbol that early engravers believed represented the spirit of the American frontier. The reverse features a detailed wreath surrounding the words 1 cent, with a shield placed above the wreath to symbolize national strength and unity. This design became iconic and remained in production for decades, making the Indian head cent one of the most beloved coins among collectors. What makes the 1861 issue especially fascinating is the composition of the coin. During this time, the U.S. Mint used a copper-nickel alloy that gave the coin a slightly pale tone compared with later bronze cents. The mixture created a harder metal that sometimes produced weaker strikes, meaning certain details on the coin could appear softer. When collectors find a coin with strong, crisp details from this year, it immediately attracts attention because well-struck examples are less common. Over time, millions of these coins disappeared through wear, damage, or loss. Coins circulated constantly in everyday trade, and few people in the 1860s imagined that these small copper pieces would someday become historical collectibles. As a result, finding well-preserved examples today can be surprisingly difficult, which adds to the excitement surrounding the search for Indian head cents. Many modern collectors enjoy the thrill of discovering coins from the Civil War era because they represent a direct connection to history. Holding an 1861 Indian head cent means holding a coin that may have traveled through the hands of merchants, farmers, soldiers, or travelers more than 160 years ago. That connection to real historical moments is what makes coin collecting so compelling for people across the United States. Stories about rare coins often claim that ordinary pennies could be worth millions of dollars overnight. While such stories can be exaggerated, they capture the imagination of collectors and viewers who enjoy the possibility that hidden treasures might still exist. In reality, the value of a coin depends heavily on its condition, rarity, and the level of demand among collectors. Condition plays a powerful role in determining the desirability of an 1861 Indian head cent. Coins that still display sharp feather details, strong lettering, and smooth surfaces are much more appealing than those that have been heavily worn. A single coin preserved in exceptional condition can stand out dramatically from thousands of ordinary examples, which is why collectors examine these pieces so carefully. Another reason collectors are fascinated by early Indian head cents is their connection to the transition of American coinage. The design represented a step forward from earlier cents and helped establish a style that would remain familiar to Americans for decades. Its combination of symbolism and craftsmanship reflects the artistic vision of 19th-century coin engravers. Professional coin grading has become an important part of modern collecting. Experts analyze a coin's surface quality, strike strength, and overall preservation to assign a grade that reflects its condition. When a coin from 1861 receives a high grade, it becomes particularly desirable because it proves that the piece has survived more than a century in remarkable shape. Beyond the technical details, the emotional appeal of the Indian head cent cannot be ignored. It reminds collectors that even the smallest objects can carry powerful stories. A simple 1-cent coin can represent a time when the nation faced enormous challenges, yet continued to function through everyday commerce and resilience. Many enthusiasts search through old jars of coins, family collections, or estate sales hoping to discover forgotten pieces from the 19th century. The possibility of uncovering an old Indian head cent creates excitement because each find feels like rediscovering a small piece of American heritage. Collectors also appreciate the artistry involved in the design. The finely engraved feathers of the headdress, the balanced lettering around the rim, and the elegant wreath on the reverse all demonstrate the craftsmanship of the U.S. Mint during the 1800s. These details make the coin visually appealing even to people who are new to coin collecting. Although not every old penny will be extremely valuable, understanding the historical background of coins like the 1861 Indian head cent adds depth to the collecting experience. The true value often lies in the story behind the coin and the journey it has taken across generations. In the end, the 1861 Indian head cent stands as a powerful reminder that history can survive in the smallest forms. What once served as ordinary pocket change during the Civil War era has now become a cherished collectible that continues to inspire curiosity and appreciation among collectors. Each surviving coin invites us to look closer, ask questions, and remember the remarkable past that shaped the United States. Thanks for watching, and don't forget subscribe to my channel Legacy Coins USA.